When the bucket of water splashed across the old man's face, the room went silent. Amaka stood over him, furious. "Can't you do anything right?" she shouted. "This floor is still dirty." The man wiped his face quietly, his gray hair dripping. No one in that mansion knew that the cleaner she just poured water on was the billionaire who owned it all. Not even his son's fiancée. Henry was a young white businessman who grew up in Nigeria. His father, Richard, had built a fortune there: real estate, oil, tech, the kind of wealth that made newspapers call him the quiet lion of Lagos. But age had softened Richard's voice, not his mind. He wanted to know if his son's fiancée, Amaka, loved Henry for who he was, or for the life his money could buy her. Henry had been dating Amaka for a year. She was beautiful, smart, and ambitious, a Nigerian woman who knew how to command a room. She was also about to become Mrs. Henry Walker. A week before their engagement party, Richard told his son, "Let me meet her before you announce it to the world." Henry smiled. "Of course, Dad. But please, no tests, no tricks. I love her." Richard only nodded. But that same night, he made a call. The next morning, the mansion staff saw an old man arrive at the gate with a mop, a bucket, and a quiet smile. No one recognized him. His gray hair was rough, his hands were dusty, and his accent was lighter than usual. He told the head maid, "I'm the new cleaner. Mr. Henry said to start today." Amaka arrived at noon, stepping out of a sleek black car. She wore a gold dress and perfume that followed her like music. She barely noticed the old cleaner sweeping near the entrance. When he greeted her, "Good afternoon, Ma," she didn't answer. She walked past him like he was invisible. Later, when she saw him mopping near the sitting room, she frowned. "You call this clean?" she snapped. "The floor still looks dull." The old man bowed his head. "Sorry, Ma. I'll clean it again." Amaka folded her arms. "No need," she said coldly. Then, without warning, she lifted the bucket beside him and poured the remaining water all over his body. "Now clean that, since you enjoy wasting time," she said, her voice sharp as glass. The butler gasped. The room fell silent except for the sound of water dripping from the old man's shirt. He said nothing, just picked up his mop and kept cleaning. When Henry came down, Amaka changed completely. She smiled sweetly, held his hand, and laughed loudly at his jokes. That evening, Richard, still dressed as the cleaner, brought in drinks for them. Amaka didn't even look at him. When the tray shook a little, she snapped. "Can't you be careful, old man? You'll stain my dress." Henry's face fell. He looked at the cleaner, then at Amaka. Before he could speak, the old man quietly left the room. The following day, a car stopped at the gate. The security guard rushed to open it. The same old man who was their cleaner yesterday stepped out the car, this time wearing a clean white shirt, a gold wristwatch, and confidence that filled the air. Amaka froze. Henry stood up. "Dad?" "Yes," Richard said calmly. "It's me." Amaka's mouth opened, but no words came out. Richard looked at her, not angry, just disappointed. "You poured water on me and humiliated me because you thought I was beneath you. You spoke to me like I was nothing. But I wanted to see how you'd treat a man who couldn't offer you anything." Amaka stammered. "Sir, I didn't know." "That's the point," Richard cut in. "You didn't need to know to be kind." He turned to his son. "Henry, love is tested not in parties or pictures, but in how someone treats people who can do nothing for them." Then he looked back at Amaka. "I wish you well. But you won't be marrying my son." He walked away slowly, his steps echoing on the spotless floor. That night, Henry ended the engagement. He was heartbroken, but he knew his father was right. A few weeks later, the old cleaner's uniform still hung in the corner of Richard's closet. He kept it there as a reminder. That respect, not riches, is what truly shows who we are. Moral of the story: how you treat the lowest person in the room shows your true worth, not how you smile at the richest one.